Okay, we have a composite figure here. So first we're going to figure out the bottom one, which is a rectangular prism. And the formula for a rectangular prism is volume equals big B times the height. I've also taught you that volume equals length times width times height. It doesn't matter where the numbers go because it's multiplication. So basically you've got 8 times 12 times 8. And then you're going to get a number right here. And then for the sphere, we actually only end up needing half of it because it's only a half. It's a hemisphere. It's half a sphere. But a lot of kids get stuck. They're like, Miss, where is the radius? Because the formula is volume equals 4/3 pi and then the radius cubed. So here, what's going to happen is we know that from here to here, it's 8 because it tells us that. So that means the diameter here is also 8. If the diameter is 8, we know that 8 divided by 2 is going to give us the radius, which is 4. So then you've got volume equals 4 times pi, which is 3.14, times the radius cubed. All of that is divided by 3. And I'll just kind of like box this off. So all you're going to do is do that multiplication, and then you'll get the volume of the sphere. But the issue is that it's only half a sphere. So you're going to divide that by 2 and get a new number. To solve the problem, it's a composite figure, so you're basically going to end up taking this number right here and adding it to this number right here, and that's going to give you your solution. All right. In this problem, it tells us about a rectangular pyramid. We know that rectangular pyramids, the volume formula is 1/3 pyramid, base times height, or we do volume equals 1/3 times the length times the width times the height. I've told you that the first step is picking your formula. The second step is to find the values. Here it tells us the volume is 16.7. It tells us that the width is 2 and the height is 5. And we're trying to find the length. So then the third step is you take your formula and you just plug stuff in. So 16.7 is our volume. Then we've got our 1/3. We're trying to find our length. The width is 2. The height is 5. Then we just, because this is the fraction, what I like to do is I multiply both sides by 3 to eliminate the fraction. When you do that, you're going to get a digit here, and that's going to equal, well, let's just do the multiplying here. 2 times 5 is 10, so 10x. On this problem, you're going to get a number, and it's going to be 0.01. Just put the whole number in, and that'll be the solution after you do this multiplication, divide by 10. In this problem, a lot of kids got confused because they're like, they don't give us the height of the liquid. Now, we know that this entire distance is 14. We know that 9 of it is not full. So all you're going to do is do 14 minus 9, and that's going to give you what's missing. So then it's just a simpler cylinder problem. Volume equals pi r squared, which is the circle, times the height. Step 2 is we get our values. We don't know what V is. This is in terms of pi, so we're going to leave it as pi. A radius, well, the diameter is 6 because it goes from here to here. That's 6. So our radius is 3, and our height that we determined is 5. Then we just plug and play. 3. We've got our volume that we're trying to figure out equals, leave it the pi. We're not going to do anything with pi. It stays pi. Times our radius squared. So I'm going to write it 2 times 5. Basically, all you're going to do is multiply these two numbers and then put pi after it. You've done the problem. All right, Caitlin's jar holds 180 pi. If the diameter of the jar is 6, what's the height? Well, in this case, we're going to be using the cylinder formula. So if you see a jar, it wants you to use the cylinder. That looks awful. Cylinder again is pi r squared h. Okay, step 1 is identifying your formula. Step 2, that looks like step 11, but step 1. Step 2 is to say what you know. Well, it tells us our volume is 180 pi. It tells us the diameter is 6. So that means our radius has to equal half the diameter, which is 3. And we're trying to find our height. Then we just plug it in. We've got, I guess I wrote it backwards, 180 pi equals pi again. R squared is 3 times 3 times their height. If you're in my class, I told you that if you see pi on both sides, get rid of it. Divide both sides by pi and just get rid of it. So I'm left with 180 equals, well, 3 times 3 is 9. And then you have x, and then you just finish and solve.